The backlash to Javanka's grifting has gone global. Protests are continuing to grow in size and intensity in Albania, where our reporters estimate there were tens of thousands of people in the streets today to oppose the plans for a Jared Kushner-backed luxury resort on protected land on the coast, land that Jared Kushner and his wife Ivanka Trump found when they were on a yacht trip, and they jumped off the yacht and went swimming and then hiking barefoot. It's being called the Flamingo Revolution. It's sending a message loud and clear that, for their part, the people of Albania are drawing a line in the sand and will not stand for destroying their country's natural environment to benefit the barefoot billionaires. Now, despite those protests, the country's prime minister tells Reuters this, quote, Albania will plow on with a luxury resort planned by Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, on a remote stretch of Balkan coast despite persistent protests over its environmental impact. Adding that the developers will stun onlookers with their plans in the coming months. Quote, I'm telling you, it's going to be a beautiful project, and we're going to do it, and we're going to be proud to contribute to Europe, the prime minister said during an interview in his office a few meters from where nightly demonstrations against the Javanka project have taken place. I want to bring in Norm Eisen, who served as special counsel for ethics and government reform in the White House under President Barack Obama. He's now a senior fellow at Brookings and the executive chair of Democracy Defenders Fund. Alex Wagner is still here. We're hoping to speak to our reporter on the ground, Inez de la Quatera, on the ground in Albania for us. But the crowds tonight are so big that she wasn't able to get a signal out. But here is some of her reporting from earlier today with the protesters.
Did you see the video of Ivanka talking about the island?
Yeah.
What did you think?
I think that she's talking nonsense, and she's making something for herself to be like a good one, and to see that we are only investing for your future, for something big. So I think no one believes them.
Why was it important for you to bring your daughter here?
I wanted her to learn that her own voice is important, and she has the right to talk.
Excellent. And what's your hope for the future of Albania?
I hope this protest comes with a real concrete plan and with a real change.
Incredible reporting from our colleague. Let me show you, Norm, that video that the people of Albania are responding to. This is Ivanka Trump.
It's an unbelievable, beautiful 1,400-hectare private island in the middle of the Mediterranean. We were on a friend's boat, and we stopped for a swim. Effectively, that's how we found it. We swam to the island. We went on a hike, barefoot all the way up to the top, and we were just captivated. And it stayed with us ever since. And over the course of many years, we developed the opportunity to help realize its potential and transform it, but with a lot of restraint and care, because the land is so beautiful.
Norm, I've been asking Alex here what part of Miami Ivanka lives in that they use the metric system. We had to Google here what a hectare is. But this is baloney. I mean, this is a part of the natural environment that the people of Albania value as it is. So they didn't do anything with restraint. I mean, that is a lie, or at least not anything that is accepted by the local Albanian people.
There's just not enough grift for the Trump family in the continental United States, particularly with the courts stopping corrupt Trump family projects like the $1.8 billion slush fund or Trump's appropriation of the Kennedy Center. So they've rolled over the family to this island. How, Nicole, how can that Albanian prime minister honestly deal with the people of his country when the president of the United States family are the ones who want to take this island? You know how bad it is? Albania is desperate to get into the EU. The EU is saying that the environmental impacts on this pristine land may stop Albanian accession to the EU. What is Jared Kushner even doing out there, supposedly as a special envoy, while he's involved in these and many other business projects? Where's his financial disclosures? Is he complying with the legal requirements for those who work even in these special capacities for the United States? The corruption is out of control.
And to bring it back to the first half, I mean, the politically catastrophic grifting is compounding the economic catastrophe politically. And these two stories are of a piece for voters.
Yeah, I mean, you can't afford hamburger meat, but Ivanka emerges from her cashmere cocoon to talk to you about the intentional development of a luxury island in the Mediterranean that is...
She found on foot, barefoot.
Which is a wipeout of nature and which, is going to have 10,000 rooms, I believe, which is being investigated by a special prosecutor in Albania for corruption, which the Albanian people are taking to the streets to protest against, not just because they care about nature and development, but also that is an anti-Trump protest. This is not just about the island of Sazan and not just about the Albanian prime minister who's one of the jabronis who got suckered into Trump's board of peace. This is about the global community saying, no, Trump, you can't have a piece of this. That is a referendum on Trump and his family as much as it is anything else.
It's extraordinary. It is just extraordinary what has been ushered in all around the world.